Hello, this is a very brief assessment of this K8 Kawai upright piano made in 1961 that's just come into stock. And the casing's got a square fall, as you can see, and an interesting decoration on the front. It's not polyester. Polyester is used slightly later normally. I'm not quite sure when they started using polyester, but 1961. The same with the Yamaha U1A that we get in. Wonderful pianos. The casework isn't as perfect as you'll get on a polyester piano normally. Here's a Yamaha U1A made in about 1980, I think. So I've just checked, it's 1985, and that's in stock as well. And an excellent piano and perfect throughout. So the Kawai will be obviously a lot less expensive. We will tidy up the case, obviously, make it acceptable, especially that corner there. Notice it's got 2 pedals instead of 3. In other words, it doesn't have a practice pedal. We can always add a practice pedal as a lever on the piano, that's no problem. The construction of the inside is very similar to a Yamaha of the same age, the Yamaha U1A we like very much, often get into stock. Just want to zero in on it and compare it with the younger Yamaha, which is very similar to a younger Kawai. If we look in there, I'm focusing on the wooden the mounting for the screw, the action, you can see is made of wood. It's very traditional looking. Now if we look at the Yamaha U1A, you can see it's mounted on aluminium. Now that's fine, but if you want to work on the piano, it's much nicer if it's mounted on wood. It's much easier to work with, and obviously wood can easily be replaced if necessary. Now, that doesn't normally happen, but if you look at the screws, they look like self-tapping screws on this more modern one, so it's much less pleasant, shall we say, to work on a modern piano like this. There's the Celestial. This is obviously a reconditioned Yamaha U1A that we have in stock, and we have several other similar Yamaha U1s and U3s. Now back to the Kawai. The Kawai needs a bit of regulation, as you can see there. If I play the keys, there's a little bit of lost motion here, and no doubt we're going to have to regulate the whole piano a little bit. But I'm excited to get it in. I like these older Yamahas and Kawais very much. A very warm sound. I wouldn't say they've improved on them at all since then. There's more or less standardised the design and economised on the sense that they're not using aluminium anymore. Sorry, I meant to say they're not using wood anymore. Here's typical wooden pedals that you get on an older piano. And there's a heating bar there to drive the moisture away, often called a damp chaser. There's the bars on the Yamaha, same as a more modern Kawai as well. So that was standardised. It's obviously cheaper to make that. I suppose it functions just as well. It tends to get more prone to be noisy, but very obviously both Yamaha and Kawai are very good piano makers. Listening to the Yamaha and the Kawai. It's a gentler sound, it's a slightly more mellow sound. As you get in the older Yamahas as well, more mellow sound. And the Yamaha, brighter sound, very beautiful piano. I think the Kawai, we just needs a little bit of work to bring it to the same standard, just a different sound of piano. The keys are dirty on this Kawai as well, obviously that can be clean. But listen to the pitch of the piano. That was the Yamaha next to it. Hear the difference in pitch. That's the A. So if you're a tuner, maybe you can guess how flat that is. I've measured it at about 8.5 beats flat. So very flat. Been standing around doing nothing for a long time. That'll make the sound a lot more lively as well when it's pitch raised. So that's a very brief look at a Kawai K8, 125 centimeters high, just come into stock, and the overall tone of it, I really enjoy these older Yamahas and Kawais. Very similar, very competitive, both made in the same place. But very rich, warm sound. Obviously out of tune at the moment. Perhaps the break point not quite as good as the younger Kawais, but generally speaking, I'm going to really enjoy this piano once it's been pitch raised, and the touch has been perfected, so slight play in the action at the moment, but an excellent piano to get into stock. Thank you very much for listening.